Karga, I didn't want to have to do this. Minigun time. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Baldurs Gate 3. Now, I haven't touched this game in over 2 years, and you might be saying, Spiff, come on! This video is coming out well after the game actually released. And look, trust me, I have a good excuse. First, I was on holiday, then I had to finish playing Baldurs Gate 3, then I had to finish playing Baldurs Gate 3 for a second time, and now I'm here to make a video on it. But I realize a lot of people have already covered all of these silly bugs and exploits in the game, and so whilst I could show off a few of the unrevealed ones, I thought I could make it a little bit more exciting by playing Baldurs Gate 3 in a way that I haven't seen anyone else play it. For you see, today, ladies and gentlemen, we will be defeating Baldurs Gate 3 using a gun. So make sure you're sat back, relaxed with a nice warm cup of tea in hand, as we're about to do something absolutely astounding. Now, of course, you might be saying, hang on a second, Spiff, Baldurs Gate 3 doesn't actually have any guns. And whilst it might feel like that, you're actually completely incorrect. Anyway, first things first, we need to make ourselves a character, and I have ever so slightly modified the game so that I can actually play as some of the fun characters. Like, for example, this is a Minotaur Barbarian. However, today, we're going to play as a Goblin. That's right, we're going to play as a Goblin with a gun. I mean, come on, these guys are brilliant. Plus, they also have Fury of the Small, which means they deal damage to any creature that's bigger than them. Well, guess what? It doesn't really get much smaller than a Goblin. So let's first pick our class. We will, of course, be playing as a female Goblin because they are ever so slightly smaller than the male Goblin, which is brilliant. So what are we going to call my lovely Goblin with a gun? This is, of course, going to be none other than the wonderful Boblin the Goblin. Boblin the Goblin is, of course, going to be the greatest weapon the world has ever seen. Right, so bam, we spawn into the world as a Goblin. Perfect, we're in a prime position to sow some chaos. Now, I am able to summon the wonderful tutorial chest, which is very jazzy indeed, as inside of this bad boy we have a few weapons we can use. For example, the minigun. The first thing we will do is equip our minigun. Now it's time to meet my potential first friend in the form of a Githyanki warrior lady. Apparently she calls me an abomination. I'm very clearly not an abomination. I am Boblin. And Boblin is a lovely, majestic sausage. She's the only Goblin with a gun, you see. So yes, our first combat encounter will be quite interesting indeed. Okay, right, apparently my minigun has 10 projectiles, so I'll just aim a few projectiles at each of my targets here. Right, and let's see what effect we have. Yep, you know what? Pretty good. Pretty good indeed. I know. Boblin is surprisingly adequate in battle because Boblin has a bloody gun. Right, so into the boss fight room we go. Normally we would be in a little bit of a challenging situation here. However, most of the enemies we're fighting have never really encountered gun before. Consequently, we should be in quite a good position. Now, my mission is apparently relatively simple. We need to deal with all of these enemies in front of me. That's okay. All right, let's send off some of our shots. There we go. Good damage indeed. Still not perfect, for one of the lesser imps did manage to survive, and that's highly embarrassing indeed. Right, now we're going to fire 10 shots off into the commander. That's some good damage. Lovely jubbly. Right, a further 10 shots into the commander here. There we go. We killed the commander, and now, of course, the Mind Flayer decides to turn on us. That's just exactly what Mr. Mind Flayer would do. Anyway, Mr. Mind Flayer's never really encountered a machine gun before, so that does give us a distinct advantage here. So Mr. Mind Flayer's dead, and I now get to steal this very jazzy weapon. Right, so we're able to connect the transponder and we will successfully crash land somewhere. Right, okay, I guess I land at a beach. Fantastic, wonderful. Boblin, you look pretty grumpy, but that's fine. We're going on a fantastic journey from now. Right, fantastic, I've leveled up. Wonderful. Boblin is even more powerful. I've specialized in archery and I've given myself some advantages here. Off Boblin goes on their merry little adventure. The next part of my plan I need to collect is over here, and her name is Shadowheart, and for some reason the entirety of the internet has determined that they would like to bang this one individual. To each their own, I suppose, but she's a little bit of a crazy lady. Hello, Shadowheart. Why are you hitting the door with a mace? Alright, so there we go. Shadowheart is joining us. I'm Boblin. Let's make haste. Right, there we go. So Shadowheart's on board. Welcome. I don't think Shadowheart's ever used a gun before, but just because it would be a good laugh. Let's give her a shotgun. Oh my goodness, it really is a point-blank ranged weapon. Literally 5 meters is all it can manage. Oh, that's fine. Alright, anyway, up into the ship we go, where, oh my goodness, there are some intellect devourers. They're going to try and fight us. Well, that's completely fine, because Boblin here is ready to kill. Where's this fine little one? Oh, he's bugging away over here. Right, take some shots. There we go. Lovely. And we'll end our turn. Wait for the intellect devourer to get close to us. Then Shadowheart, use your blunderbuss. Fire, you missed. Shadowheart, useless woman. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We've got our rapid fire. Put all of the shots into it. I know I fight well, Shadowheart. I have a gun. Oh my goodness, this boy is still vibing. This little intellect devourer is having a brilliant old little day. That's fine. We don't need to introduce ourselves to him. We're going to go find Gale, because Gale is going to be exceedingly useful for us. So let us pull Gale literally out of the wall. So, here comes Gale's hand. He desperately would like a hand, so yes, I guess we can help him. I mean, my strength isn't even the best, but yes, I'll grab and pull that hand. And Shadowheart will even give me some guidance. There we go, Shadowheart, you do have a purpose in life. Don't ask how this goblin is going to successfully pull it, but she's doing it using her mind. That's how powerful goblins are. It's truly a miracle. There we go. Goodness, Boblin, you're the most powerful being of the land. Gale has now joined the party. Gale is a very strange companion. I don't know why, but there was a bug in this game's original code, and he was by far the companion that wanted to literally bang anyone. Like, this guy was up for anything. You could have genuinely not communicated with Gale at all, or had any meaningful moment in advance to his quest, and he'd be like, hey, so, I love you. Will you marry me? And it's like, Gale, please. We hardly know each other. Boblin's not interested in that. Right, so we're making our way up to the first settlement possible. And oh, there's some shouting up ahead. Oh, I'm sure it's going to be a dangerous thing. And yep, there's some fools trying to get to safety. However, it's very dangerous. It's because there's a pack of goblins chasing these people down. Little do they know, I'm a goblin, and I don't necessarily have to side with them, but I can in the very least help them for today. Oh dear, these poor fools are about to get minced. But lucky for them, I am more than able to fight some goblins. So huzzah, it's time for us to begin. Right, so away our bullets go. A good first attack, that's 3 enemies defeated. Not half bad at all if I do say so myself. Right, next up I guess is Laziel's turn. Oh my goodness, Gale actually did something. He shot someone with a firebolt. How very unexpected. Gale, you're normally pretty useless. Well, actually, I tell a lie. Gale is probably the easiest person to speedrun the entire game with. Shadowheart, can you do a range shot? No. Shadowheart, let's do a firebolt, I guess. Right, time to do a little bit more rapid fire invocation. And away the shots go. Good damage across the board. The boss is down. Now we just have to deal with this little bugbear. He's actually doing a pretty good job of dealing damage to our allies, but that's fine. He should be dead soon enough, as he's one of the few remaining. And away our projectiles go. The fight is done. We did it! Alright, in we swiftly go. No one was left behind, so Boblin is inspired. How very jazzy. Right, into the base we go, Boblin. We did a splendid job of saving the day. Right, both of these people are about to punch each other. However, I will intimidate them using my natural goblin advantage. That's right, I'm just naturally spooky, and it was a critical success. Oh, everyone is happy. The goblins have found us. The goblins have indeed found you. Some could say the goblins are among us. Oh god, you've literally just let me in, but hey, here I am. Anyway, fantastic, we made it into the Druid Grove, which means I guess we should do with making a little bit of money whilst we're still here. Now, when it comes to trading in this game, there are a few ways to do it. Way number 1 is the official way of playing Baldurs Gate free, whereby you fairly trade and do everything by the book. Way number 2 does not follow sets of limitations, no. Basically, all you need, ladies and gentlemen, is an auto-clicker, and all you need to do is make sure you're on the trade menu and find a, relatively expensive item that you can actually afford. Now, in order to make money, you kind of have to spend money, which is why we're going to take this very fancy blade and sell it to the merchant. Now, this is going to give us 52 gold when we sell it. However, if we actually hold down the auto-clicker key, we can sell it for multiple times. Logically, we should only go up to exactly 90 gold, but when we sell it, we definitely went above that. Now, what we can do is buy this blade back, and then what we can do is we can proceed to sell it again. Now, it did cost us several hundred to buy from the merchant, merchant at first, but now that we've bought it from him and then sold it back to him, he's willing to sell it to us for the base price of 52, which we can do. We can then sell this item multiple times. We can then buy the blade, sell the blade again multiple times to get up to 180. Then what we can do is take this blade, and as long as your auto clicker is fast enough, you can sell one item multiple times. This means we're able to take the one blade we have and use it to drain this merchant's entire inventory of gold. That is of course surprisingly effective. We can then increase this by getting multiple items that we can resell and buy, speeding up this entire process, draining the merchant even faster. So now the merchant is basically down to no money, and I have some fancy gloves and more gold than I started with. As you can imagine, that's pretty darn jazzy, and exactly the way the developers intended the game to be played. There we go, Aaron. All it took for me to get all of your money was to use my classical goblin mischieving tactics of convincing you to buy an item multiple times. What a splendid success. Right now, the druids are being kind of mean, and they've basically abducted a child, and I imagine if we don't do anything, the child's going to die. Anyway, these guys are grumpy. They definitely don't like me. I can say, hey, if it weren't for me, you'd be overrun by goblins by now. I mean, I'm a goblin, but I'm sure they don't notice. All right, let's go see Karga. She's in here, and she wants us to help get rid of all of the tieflings from the area. I don't think the tieflings are that bad. So Karga has this child, and is going to kill it with a snake. As a British person, I can very easily get behind child murder. However, I find Karga incredibly annoying. You know what, Karga? I've had enough. Gale says, hold on, it's not too late to settle this without bloodshed. No, let's carry out your attack. Oh my goodness. What is going on here? Oh my goodness. Right, the outsiders are trying to murder everyone else. Well, Raph has had enough and has decided to bugger off, but that's okay. Shadowheart is frightened. Shadowheart, why? Look, come on, there is no... Oh my goodness, they killed the child. They killed the child immediately. Right, that's it. Karga, I didn't want to have to do this. Minigun time. Good damage. Jeez, Karga is rather scary. Oh dip, she can literally just teleport behind you and do a thunder wave. Alright, the druids must die. Shadowheart, I believe in you. Let's do a ranged attack into the back of this druid. Go! That was a miss. Shadowheart, I no longer believe in you. Anyway, right, I think we have successfully killed everyone here. So we can kill Karga with one shot. Couple of shots into this guy. Couple of shots into the dude behind him. And there we go. Splendid, lovely jubbly. Everyone has successfully been murdered. Except the one dude who managed to survive on 1 HP. Why do you have to smash everyone? Right, now of course, annoyingly, a large amount of our party has been injured, but don't worry, turns out one of the best things you can do is just simply yeet stuff around. Because sure, you could drink a potion of healing, or alternatively, you could just throw it in between 3 people and heal all of them simultaneously. Now, that's the budget way of healing. Everyone will stand on a sticky surface. It's just like a nightclub. Anyway, right, how's the Sacred Grove thing going? You know what, let's just steal that idol thing before they go all crazy and start murdering everyone. Although I think that's exactly what they're doing. The druids are currently going a little bit crazy, so hopefully without their idol, they'll just chill out a bit. These guys are almost as crazy as a goblin with a minigun. Oh, look, there's a wolf. Hello, wolf. Oh my goodness, they have massacred the tieflings. Will's dead as well. Jeez, these druids are mental. They just all went into bear form and decided to kill everyone. All right, okay, it's minigun time, so let's get as many shots into all of these people as possible. Jeez, you'd think these druids would be peaceful folk, but no, these guys are all just absolute lunatics. All right, anyway, let's do a big cleave. Yeet! All right, let's send out some shots. Hopefully we can kill a couple of these animals. Yep, that's a good amount of damage and a level up. Splendid stuff. As it turns out, minigun is surprisingly effective against enemies. Oh, and you're going to turn into a wolf and attack Lazio. That's very mean of you. Right, blunderbuss shot at a bear. Don't miss. Oh, that was actually a hit. Okay, Shadowheart, that's basically a miracle. A couple of shots out. There we go, just finishing up some of our enemies. Lovely jubbly. Mino here is doing a long-range attack on Gale. Fantastic, it missed. Lovely, even enemies can miss, it would seem. Alright, fantastic, we're just down to 2 enemies. Jorona and a bear who has just been healed, but I think the bear is stuck on terrain, so yep, this should be a non-issue. Right, full salvo into the bear, followed by the bear's assistant. Go! Splendid. Good shots on the bear. There we go, splendid, we did it. We killed them all. Oh my goodness, here's Will. Right, we should probably revive Will because him being dead is, you know, not the best. So let's bring him back. There you go. Welcome back, Will. Wait, a theft has been reported. It seems you're the only suspect. Will, I literally just revived you from the dead and you're narking on me for stealing an item. Right, let me talk my way out of this situation. Intimidation. God damn it. I literally saved your life. This is how you treat me. If this man wants to fight us, that's fine. You'll need to fight your way out of this one. Will, I literally just revived you from the grave. I'll show you what temporarily hostile means. You bloody idiot. Genuinely brought this man back to life, and that's what he does to reward me. All right, what do we got going on over here? Oh my goodness, the tieflings are trying to escape. Who are they trying to fight? Oh, they're trying to fight Nettie, the last druid. There we go. Yeah, kill the last druids. Come on, civilians, you can do this. All right, I'll get as close as I can. All right, let's finish off these druids. Good shots. Good shots indeed. All right, Nettie has turned herself into a boar. That's pretty dangerous, but hopefully everyone should just start punching that piggy. There you go. Yeah, punch that pig. Good job, guys. All right, and then we'll launch a final salvo into Nettie there. Splendid job. Goodbye, Nettie. Alright, so Karga died before the tieflings were forced out of the grove. So I think that means I saved the tieflings, but at the same time, there's a lot of dead people now. But hey, I at least saved everyone. Well, except the ones that didn't get saved. Oh no, Zevlor! Zevlor! Oh dear, that's a bit awkward. Oh, I guess they don't like me digging through the dead. Right, well, I didn't like Karga, but I may or may not have accidentally destroyed most of the game. Right, we open the door and evidently there is something pretty cheeky going on in here, and so we must attack the couple immediately using our lovely machine gun. So we're going to put all of the shots into Bufir here, and that was enough to take her health down a little bit, but still we need to run away. And as you can see, it's Bufir has a pretty powerful weapon. So powerful it just smashed Lae'zel to the ground. So yeah, that's the kind of thing we're going up against here, but luckily shouldn't be too challenging. There we go, we can have them killed. So there we go, glorious success. Now the goal of today's video is to beat the entire game. There's just one issue. Baldurs Gate 3 took me over 50 hours to complete the first time, so we're gonna have to pick up the pace a bit. Luckily for us all, a series of magical events has presented us with a new gameplay strategy. Just last year in 2022, a true gamer called Lord Derpington was playing Divinity Original Sin 2, the previous game from these developers. Whilst playing the game, he discovered a mechanic called node flinging. Node flinging is a glitch that allows the user to be able to fling an object further than they legally should be able to. This is achieved by dragging an object to a distance outside of the range, or just completely inaccessible, and then whilst the animation for the item opening is underway, dragging the object a super short legal distance. Instead of the item getting flung to the legal nearby target, the item is instead flung to your first inaccessible destination. Unfortunately, in Divinity there was not many use cases for this glitch, especially when Barrelmancy was already so overpowered, so it was largely forgotten by the community. Then along came Baldurs Gate 3, using the exact same game engine, meaning of course it had almost all of the same glitches. So once again, after a bit of testing, I can now fling a wooden box further than the game intended. This is good, but on its own also completely useless. But someone along the line made a grave mistake. In an effort to render the game better, the developers put certain cutscene triggers off of the border of the world map, and they even allowed dead character corpses to be able to activate them, meaning if we're able to yeet a character off of the map into a cutscene trigger, they immediately get resurrected and they trigger the cutscene to play, meaning we can potentially skip entire parts of the game. Now one character has far more cutscenes, they have far more plot importance, and they're just downright really annoying to try and kill, and for some reason you'll want to sleep with them. I'm of course talking about Shadowheart, but because she's so popular, that means she can trigger just about anything. So all we need to do is kill her so that we can actually stuff her corpse into a box, and then post the box off of the edge of the map. However, there is one final step we must do. The cutscene trigger won't fire unless the corpse is outside of the box, otherwise the game just doesn't detect it. So we must place the box on a flammable surface, thus lighting the box on fire, meaning when we then yeet the flaming box off of the map, upon its arrival the game will tick over, the fire damage will occur, and the box will break, meaning Shadowheart will spill out of it. There are already many discovered skips for the entirety of Baldurs Gate 3, but our one here is going to let us bypass Act 1. Step 1 is to stand on this beach where you crash land and queue up the target as a destination using any item as this weird spot off in the distance on the cliffs. Then we need to travel back to our camp with Shadowheart dead in a box. Then place Shadowheart on any flammable surface and light the surface on fire using a fireball, and then activate the fling. Now because we're in the camp and the target destination is off of the actual first act map, the game massively glitches out and sends Shadowheart start yeeting across the entire universe at 7,000 miles an hour, meaning that she is then instantaneously resurrected. At this point, we can now go to sleep and enjoy the fruits of our labor. And now we're awake, everyone's truly chuffed, and we're able to begin. Right, so there we go. We now leave the camp, and then this causes Shadowheart to have some kind of, I don't know, brain function, which is fine. Basically, Shadowheart is doing some kind of, you know, fancy lore thing. Now, because we yeeted her into this lore-based cutscene, she got resurrected. We now get to hear all of this fun lore, and this is great as it kind of just lets us teleport around. And then that sequence breaks us over into a different location. So if we now select Shadowheart, we are right over by the Goblin camp, and we can just walk past the Goblin camp into the mountain pass like so. Make sure to tie up any loose ends before advancing, because the area I'm entering is going to become bitterly difficult. Of course, I've not tied up any loose ends because, well, I've just bypassed said loose ends. Oh, and look, suddenly Withers and Raphael are here. Yes, Raphael, I definitely met you on my journey. Anyway, we can quickly skip some dialogue by shooting Withers and Raphael a few times. There we go. That just skips the process. I mean, they're not a big fan of it, but we get to talk to them. There we go, fantastic. We can just go to bed, and that is the entirety of Act 1 completely bypassed. All it took was yeeting someone off of the edge of the map, and oh my dream visitor is here to see me. Hello there, dream visitor. I don't think the game knows properly how to sequence my goblin. Yes, no, I'm just standing. Fantastic. But anyway, despite being level 3, our lovely minigunner is finally ready to leave the campsite, and we will now find ourselves in the mountain pass. Right, our adventure must continue, ladies and gentlemen, and by adventure and continue, I mean we must finish the game. Now, we do have a few advantages in the form that I have myself a gun. Right, so we send off our little minigun of attack, and now combat begins again. Right, rapid fire time. Right, yeet out some projectiles, good bit of damage. Right, this will do 5 to 19 damage. Let us yeet it into this ghoul. Go, Boblin! Nice, splendid work. Right, Boblin has done a great job of softening up our opponents, and I do realize that I haven't actually equipped Shadowheart with a single weapon. Anyway, I'll begin the process of effectively just running away from combat and allowing my companions to, I don't know, absorb some of the damage. Right, Gale, I'm gonna need something majestic from you. And you know what, Gale? I've got a brilliant idea. You're going to be a sacrificial magic missile delivery system, right? You're going to send out a couple of magic missiles here. Lovely jubbly. Hopefully we can kill 2 enemies. Or none, Gale. That works too. I'm terribly sorry, Gale, but you are going to be the first to die. Oh, God. Well, that's fine. Shadowheart, equally, there's not really too much I can have you do. But I think a bit of radiant damage should do the trick. There you go. Good job, Shadowheart. Nicely done. And job done. Ah, we managed it. Poor little Gale isn't exactly doing too great, but that's fine. We can revive him, no problem. Hello, Withers. Withers, can you bring Gale back? It's not the same without him. I need him because he has a nuclear bomb strapped into his chest. There we go. Gale's going to get resurrected now. Lovely jubbly. Right, Gale, it's nice to have you back and alive because I'm going to need you to kill Shadowheart, stuff her in a box, and then commit a war crime with me. So, there we go. That was a glorious success. The fight is complete. Everyone is happy. Alright, now immediately upon completing this, we're able to take Gale into the Shadow-Cursed Lands. This is apparently a brutal area, and we need to tie up any loose ends before advancing, and this area is going to be bitterly difficult for a party of our level. However, this is not going to be the case. So we don't need to fight anyone in here. It's a lie. It turns out we can once again commit a little bit of magic. Ah, here it is. The super spooky Shadow-Cursed Lands. And a little goblin's here to meet us. Hello there, little goblin. Basically, this little goblin says, grab a torch, stay out the dark. I mean, it's a shame. They're so cute and fun, but unfortunately, if we literally wait any amount of time, they just go into the shadows and get killed. Because the shadows here are really bad, but it's fine. Let me give you a peaceful death, Goblin Brawler, by just murdering you. Apologies. Anyway, Gale's condition has now activated, and this basically means we need to feed him magical artifacts. So we're going to now feed him his magical artifacts. So I'm going to give him this glove of power because I don't need it, and he will simply munch on it and be very happy. And so now that Gale has consumed his first magical artifact, that has meant that one of Gale's friends has spawned into the world. And luckily for us, we can meet him. He is this lovely Merlin-y wizard-looking fellow over here. Now, Elminster is going to tell Gale that the bomb inside of his body is going to be used as an explosive to blow up the main bad guy in the game. We're going to let this happen. So there we go. Splendid use. Gale's bomb has now been activated inside of his body by me just mashing a bunch of dialogue options. And this now means at any moment he has the mental capacity to detonate himself like a nuclear blast. As you can imagine, this is quite useful indeed. Right, so the next step we find ourselves in is once again Operation Kill Shadowheart and put her in a box. You know what, Lae'zel, seeing as you hate her so much, I'm gonna let you do the honors of murdering Shadowheart. There we go. Splendid stuff. Lovely, she's dead. Let's just quickly finish off that job there. Splendid stuff. Okay, so one dead Shadowheart later, we can now have Gale pick up the corpse and then place Shadowheart in the box. Splendid stuff. Shadowheart is now in the crate. And now Gale, once again, I'm going to have you commit a little bit of magical atrocities by making the floor super greasy and then setting that bad boy on fire. But first, turn-based mode. Okay, fantastic. Now that the crate is on fire, we're going to be able to set up our little exploit. Now, once again, this has to be a pixel-perfect maneuver, which is a little bit hard to pull off, but it basically involves taking the crate around the side of this chasm. You have to be holding down the mouse click as you do it. Okay, then once you go around the side of the cliff, up here at the top of the screen on top of this rock, there is a tiny section where it says chasm. This is where you're going to want to drop the bad boy down. Like so. There we go. It is now released. So now all we need to do to activate the bypass for this entire section of the game is to open up the crate, and then as it's opening up, give it a little bit of a move. And there we go. Shadowheart is then flung off of the map. We can exit turn-based mode, and Shadowheart is then immediately teleported into a final cutscene, which drags all of us along, and Shadowheart is now magically alive. So now we're in the final cutscene. All that's left for us to do is activate the Gale bomb and destroy the absolute and every living being in a 10,000-mile radius. Huzzah! We did it, Patrick. We saved the city. From this point on, the absolute's brain is no more, meaning everyone infected with a tadpole is immediately transformed into a mind flayer, unleashing thousands and thousands of mind flayers on the city of Baldurs Gate. Oh well, that's someone else's problem. I've been vaporized. And to think all it took was a minigun, a little goblin, and a high-speed postal method of stuffing women into flaming boxes. Exactly the way the developers intended, I'm sure. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, one complete run of Baldurs Gate free, which I hope you enjoyed immensely. Anyway, I don't think this will be the end for Baldurs Gate free content on the channel, and I don't think it'll be the end for shadowboxing. This game is filled with amazing combinations and glitches, and to think we were still finding exploits for Divinity just 12 months ago, I think it's safe to say we've got at least another 20 years of dubious features out of this bad boy. Anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a like, and thank you as always to our wonderful, amazing channel members and Patreons, which guess what? You can be one for just £1. Anyway, if you're sat there wondering what to watch next, look no further than this video on screen now, chosen by myself to be perfect for you. I'll see each and every one of you in the next one, and goodbye for now.